Alright guys, just San here, back for another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a showcase on the physical Vegito. Now this guy's EZA is dropping on JP tomorrow, so I figured we could do a showcase on him a little early and just see how good he's looking, because the community's response for this guy has not been good. He's for sure, I don't want to say he's underwhelming, but there are some areas he could have been a lot better. However, I still think he's going to provide a ton of value for you. He's not as good as he could have been, but he's still really, really good. And we'll check that out in the showcase today. But yeah, before we get into it, just make sure you guys like and subscribe. Keep in mind there are timestamps in the video, so if you want to skip to the red zone test or the cell max test, I guess it just depends where I bring him, or the unit breakdown at the end of the video, then absolutely feel free to do that. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So starting off right here, we do have him under the new 8th year anniversary LR's 200% leader skill. So that is a plus of this guy, is that he does kind of work well on their team. And right here, we are going to have 5 out of 7 links active, and we are at 169k start of turn defense. That's not really that good. That's an insanely low defensive stat, but you do have to keep in mind that he does have the 80% damage reduction from normals, and he does also build up to an additional 90% defense. So what I'll do is I will, can I put him in slot? Okay, I can put him in slot 1. So I'm going to put him in slot 1, and he is going to support the rotation for 30% attack and defense. So you do have to keep that in mind. He is giving the whole rotation a 30% attack and defensive buff on his super attack. And then right there, we're at 1.42 million attacks. That's it's a little lower than a lot of units nowadays are hitting. So that's not really that crazy. But we did get a crit right there off with his counter. And this guy does actually have a medium chance to crit just built into his passive. And then he does also build up to another 30% chance to crit. And it doesn't stack, so that other 30% chance to crit is calculated separately, but still, with all the crit he's got going on, he's going to be critting a lot, which, considering he's a counter unit, that's obviously a really good thing. Now, one thing about this guy that's pretty crucial is you really want to make sure you have someone with a scouter on the team. Actually, I would say that's almost essential, because if you start to get you start to build up with him, and you start to get some crazy numbers with him, that's good, but if he takes a super attack, you're going to take a little bit of damage, and or a little bit is probably an understatement, but you're going to take a bit of damage. So you do want to make sure you have a scouter on the team, just so you know where to put him, because if you put him in slot 1 and there's no super attack, and there's like 10 attacks in slot 1, then he's going to be amazing, because he has that 80% damage reduction. He's going to take double digits from pretty much any boss. I would say Cell Max, Broly. I mean, we'll take him versus maybe like Omega Shenron, but I mean, I can already tell you, in terms of normals, he's going to tank double digits from everything. Just because 80% damage reduction is such a high number. And, I mean, combined with decent levels of defense, once this guy starts to build up, then, I mean, he could be cooking. But in terms of his defense, when it comes to, like, super attacks, yeah, I don't know. But another thing to keep in mind is on this rotation right here and the previous rotation, we had no support. So, yeah, there is that. But, all right, right here, we are going to have the same amount of links active as the last rotation, because we have him next to... I was about to say the better EZA TUR, but I don't know. I'll give it some time before I say who's better, but I think just off the top of my head that, this guy might just be a little bit better. But anyway, right here, 169k start of turn defense. Keep in mind that we do have to build up, and we are taking some attacks right here. We're taking 2, and we did take some attacks, obviously, in the last rotation. So we're going to be built up, and we did get the additional, I think it was 30% attack and defense right there. So yeah. 166k, and we only jump up to a 2.5 million attack stat. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we crit. I mean, we're doing a little over 500k per counter too, which is good if you start getting crits in, but I don't know, his damage really isn't that crazy. And I mean, I guess they might have wanted to like balance out his damage because he does counter, but even like the STR Vegito that released during the Worldwide Download Celebration a couple years back, I mean, even now, he's still doing higher attack stats than this, and his counters are even, they're doing even more damage than this guy. So I feel like in terms of his damage, they held back a little, which is kind of interesting because he's a counter unit, so I would expect him to do the exact opposite. But, I mean, hey, I guess he's still really good defensively. I mean, his main thing isn't necessarily his counter. I would say the two main things with this guy would be his damage reduction and then the counter. So I guess maybe they wanted to build him more defensively, which even then, they could have done a little bit more. I personally think that they should have just made it to where 80% damage reduction from normals. That's perfectly fine. And then maybe give him a, I don't know, just give him guard against super attacks. Or give him a give him a nullification or a counter or something. I mean, typically they don't add new stuff like that with easy A's, but I'm just trying to say they should have done something a little extra with this guy. Maybe in terms of like super attacks. Like I said, I mean, they could make it to where he just has guard when this guy is hit with a super attack. Or, I mean, honestly, the easiest fix that a lot of you guys probably heard people like Dtruth say is just give this guy a scouter, and then he's fine. But, I mean, he doesn't have that, so that's just a little underwhelming. But, alright, right here we do have some support. We built up a lot more, and right here we are at 147k start of turn defense, so that's not really that good, but I'm pretty sure we got our defense lowered. So without the defensive debuff, we probably would have been a little above 200k defense, which, I mean, you know, not really the craziest, but I do got to keep in mind from normals, this guy's invincible. I mean, even if you're at 100k defense with 80% damage reduction, that's still really good. So, I mean, as I've said a couple times already, from normals, this guy is going to be tanking amazing. Like, you don't understand, like, he's not going to be taking any damage from normals. I don't think there's a single enemy that can hit him for more than double digits, really. I mean, maybe if you have him on, like, a 130% leader skill, I guess you might take some damage, but other than that, this guy is going to be crazy. So, let's see what attacks that he's getting right here, though. We built up a lot, and we have a little bit of support. Yeah, alright, 4.4 million. That's not amazing, but considering we have a medium chance to crit, we are still building up, and we did a 1.3 million counter. That was kind of impressive, actually, because then if that crit, that would have done a lot of damage. And we did take double digits right there from the super. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, look at that. 3.5 million crit. That's pretty good. Because that's the thing with these counter units. Once you start getting crits in, then their damage starts becoming crazy. I mean, you know, at the beginning of the video, too, he wasn't really hitting that many crazy just counters or attack stats because he wasn't built up. But once you start building up with this guy and then you start getting the crits off, which, again, he does build up to a additional 30% chance to crit. I think it's every 3 attacks he receives. I have to double check on that. But, yeah, once you get that built up and then you have the 30% chance to crit, you have both of those, like, activated, then you'll really start getting the crits off. And especially if you give him some crit in his hidden potential system, which I do suggest, I would say probably a mix of additionals and crits, but probably prioritize crits. Because this guy doesn't get any defense on super. He only raises his allies' defense, which still getting 2 of those, getting 2 allied defensive raises, so just getting an additional super, would still just, it would increase your allies' defense on the rotation a lot. So it's still very useful. But I would say getting crits off is probably something you're going to want to prioritize a little bit more with this guy. But, I mean, he's physical anyway, so he has the base 5 additional. So still, you don't have to go too crazy with additionals, but maybe just like, I don't know, anywhere from like 9 to maybe 12 is a pretty good number. But, alright, so, yeah. I mean, these guys are cooking. Look at that. Over 6 million attacks that additional. But we already know the 8th year anniversary LRs are crazy. So, it's nothing new. Nothing new. Oh my god. Another one. Alright. Are we gonna kill right here? I forgot to look at his health. What? We crit. Okay, no, we didn't kill. We almost killed. But, alright, on this rotation right here, we once again have support, and we're going to have 4 out of 7 links active, so still a pretty good rotation right here. 300k defense. Okay. I mean, that's good, considering normals are going to be doing nothing. I mean, I was talking about how 100k defense with 80% damage reduction is good. We're at 300k defense with 80% damage reduction. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, I got to say, that is pretty impressive, so I'm going to put him in slot 1. Hopefully we don't take a super, because, I mean, even this phase of Vegeta is still probably going to hit us kind of hard. We can pop... Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, let me pop this. I'm not going to play it because I've seen this so many times. But, yeah, now we get the Scouter, which, as I was saying, was pretty important when you're running this guy. So now we got a Scouter active, and we can see where to put him, and we can really utilize him. So there we go. We have the final build-up. I'm pretty sure we're fully built up with him now. And, yeah, let's see how much damage he does on this attack stat. We're hitting around 500k per counter. Basically a 4 million attack stat. Alright. Yeah, I guess that's pretty good. We were missing 3 links right there, though. So, I mean, you do have to keep that in mind. Oh, God. We're getting super to the very beginning. You know what? Yeah, the 8th year anniversary LRs can tank this, right? Or the 8th year anniversary LR, not LRs. You can tank this for sure. We're good right here, right? Well, I guess we'll see. Because we haven't stacked up that much, but we'll see right here. How much are we taking? I think we'll probably take like 300, 400k, right? Okay, or not. Never mind. Under 100k. Sorry, I should not have disrespected the 8th year anniversary LRs. My bad. I'm just not aware of their full capabilities yet. That's on me. Although, to be fair, on my JP account, I only have them 55%, so I really haven't been utilizing them at their max power lately. But, oh my god, look at that. All the additionals, too. Yeah, these guys are just crazy. I mean, honestly, I think they're probably better than the GT Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and Goku. Just because if Dokkan is shifting towards longer events, I think, without a doubt, these guys are probably going to be better for that. But I guess it really does just all depend where you bring them. Because in, like, Super Battle Road, the GT Goku and then the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta are just kind of better. So, I mean, of course, it just depends on where you bring them. But, I mean, in an event like this, I would say these guys are a little bit better. So, yeah, but on an unrelated note, the Boo, he's crazy. He is very, very crazy. Well, I guess it's not unrelated because he's the EZA that released alongside this Vegito. The STR Boo is very, very good. Pretty much your first, like when he starts the fight, right? So in his pre-transform state, he's all right. He's no better than some just kind of mid-level units. But once you transform with him, yeah, it's pretty much over. Anyway, right here, we're at 359k defense. I mean, again, pretty good considering the damage reduction. We are... Yeah, I'm going to put him in slot 2 right here, just because I want to make sure we get as many links active as we can. And then I will just hope we don't kill. Yeah, I'm going to... Okay, well, we're not getting supered right here, so I think we'll be fine. But I'm going to nuke with him right here, so this might be a little tricky. Hopefully we get lucky with the key spheres, though. Okay, perfect. All right. So, yeah, we'll show this rotation right here, and then we'll cut to, I guess, the Omega Shenron Red Zone stage, just because I'd be curious to how much he's tanking from super attacks in there. Because, of course, in terms of his defense when it comes to super attacks, he's not really as amazing. Once again, 359k defense. But I would be curious how much he's tanking in there. Oh, so we're getting a Dokkan mode, too. All right, well, I guess we'll really make his attacks that crazy right here. But, of course, keep in mind this doesn't really contribute to his performance because this is just a rotation with item. Oh, come on, Vegito. Come on, really? I mean, we're not going to kill, but I was thinking maybe after we did our attack stat, we could, like, see how much damage you do with a counter. But whatever, we're probably going to kill right here anyway. So what are we at? Okay, 10.1 million attack stat. So I don't want to kill, so I'm just going to skip this because I want to see if we can do a counter after this. Because the attack buff from the items, I think, does still apply to his counters. So, all right, well, we crit anyway for 5.5 million damage. Yeah, that's all right. I don't know. Considering we got really lucky with key spheres, I wouldn't say that's crazy. But, I mean, still, overall, some good damage. Nothing too crazy, but some good damage. And defensively, he's going to be amazing when it comes to normals. But with super attacks, yeah, he's going to take a little bit of damage. So, actually, speaking of that, let's go ahead and see how much damage he does take from Omega Shenron's super attack. Alright, so we are here fighting Omega Shenron. And right here, we're looking pretty good. We're going to have 4 out of 7 links active. But we don't have any support because I didn't really bring that many support units on the team. Well, I mean, I brought the Turles, but he's not on the rotation. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to die here. I also don't want to kill. So I kind of have to play this a little careful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this just to pick up a little bit of damage reduction. And I don't think the Gogeta would die. I guess we'll just have to see right here. But yeah, we're going to take a super attack in slot 3 as well. So it's just set up pretty perfectly. So hopefully we don't take too much damage right here. 87k. Okay, that's a bit, but I still think we're all right. Yeah, I don't think we're going to die. And then as long as the LR, Goku, and Vegeta don't kill in slot 2, then we should be perfect right here. But just don't get like 3 super, 3 crits, please. because I tried not to go crazy with their key, because they don't have the guaranteed additional right here, the guaranteed additional super, but they do have the additional. Okay, cool, we didn't get that, so we're fine. Alright, so as long as the Vegito doesn't kill with his super, which I doubt he will, then we're golden right here. So how much damage are we doing with this super? Yeah, 3 million. I don't know if we're fully... Oh, yeah, no, we are fully built up. So, yeah, this is him fully built up. Or if he's not fully built up, he's like 1 or 2 away from it. So he's still very close. And, yeah, let's see how much he's taking right here. Oh, actually, that gave us just the last little bit of defense. So that was perfect. All right, let's see. So he can tank normals, but can he tank a super? 518k. I mean, we were pretty low on HP, to be fair, so it made sense we died right there. But that wasn't horrible. As long as you have a good amount of health, which as long as you're running a 200% leader skill, you know, health typically is around like 600, 700k. He actually did live right there. So that is pretty impressive, I think, for sure. In terms of his defense, you want to make sure that you take normals. But if you manage, or if you just get unlucky and he's in the slot where he takes a super, as long as he has type advantage, he'll be all right. And I use that very lightly, because all right is anywhere from barely surviving or, you know, just barely dying. But he'll be in that range in terms of super attacks. So, all right, with all that shown, let's go ahead and cut to when we are in the unit breakdown. Okay, so here we have Limitless Radiance Super Vegito. So starting off with his leader skill, it is Majin Buu Saga, category Ki +3, HP attack and defense plus 170%. Can't go wrong with that, 170% across the board of Majin Buu Saga. That's for sure pretty good. And his super attack is that he causes immense damage to enemy and then raises allies' attack and defense by 30% for 1 turn. I'm a little disappointed they didn't give him any defense here, but I mean, I guess they did give it to where he raises allies' defense, which is still pretty good. And on his passive, he reduces damage received by 80% from normals and then counters with tremendous power. He gets 150% defense and then 20% attack with each attack received, up to 120%. He has a medium chance of performing a critical hit, and then he gets Ki +1 up to 3. Defense plus 30% up to 90%, and then chance of performing a critical hit plus 10% up to 30% every time the character receives an attack 3 times in battle. So I don't think this is going to be that difficult to get activated, because then if you have a scouter, you can just throw him in whatever slot is taking the most attacks, and then, like I said, if you have the scouter, so then you know you're not taking a super attack there, so you'll live, take a bunch of attacks, get him fully built up, and then he can start looking pretty good. But maybe if you don't have a scouter, this could be kind of difficult, because then you really have to be careful where you put him. But, yeah, for the most part, though, pretty good passive. He's missing a couple things here and there, but, I mean, other than, like, a scouter, maybe just a higher start of turn defensive buff, and maybe make it to where he builds up to a little bit more than 120%, I would say that this is still a solid passive. So onto his links, it is Super Saiyan, Prepare for Battle, Fuse Fighter, Power Bestowed by God, Infighter, Golden Warrior, and Fierce Battle. Pretty good link set. And onto his categories, it is Majin Buu Saga, Patara, Super Saiyans, Final Trump Card, Battle of Wits, Accelerated Battle, and Fuse Fighters. So pretty good categories as well. I mean, of course, he's going to work well on a lot of these teams. And yeah, that pretty much is it with this guy. Let me know what you guys think of his EZA down in the comments. I know a lot of you probably are a little disappointed, but I mean, you do have to keep in mind, he's not horrible. He's still going to provide some use and certain events. So yeah, again, that has been the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.